Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with allthingsbbq.com, and this is Jalapeño Popper Pizza. Apparently I just can't stop putting jalapeno poppers into other foods, so that's what we're doing today with pizza in the wood-fired oven. Let's get started. So we'll get started with the jalapeno poppers themselves. Today we're making the kind where we cut these in half, take out the seeds, and then add our filling to the center. And for the filling, we're doing something really simple, equal parts cream cheese and smoked cheddar with a little bit of Yardbird barbecue rub. All right, so we're just gonna combine our cheeses. We've got 4 ounces of each today. And for that ratio, we want to add about 2 tablespoons of barbecue rub. So we'll give this a good mix, and then we'll get to work on those jalapenos. All right, so pretty well incorporated. So for the jalapenos, first of all, we're going to take the stems off. Obviously, we're never eating the stems really, but I like to leave them on for presentation if we're doing this as an appetizer. Today, these jalapeno poppers are going to be nestled right into the pizza. So a lot of times with jalapeno popper pizza, you see these kind of sliced up like this, and then you've got the rest of your ingredients mixed into the pie. We're actually going to set each one of these poppers on top of the pie while it cooks. So any way you want to, get in there and scrape those seeds out. If you're going to use your fingers, I suggest wearing gloves or washing your hands immediately afterward. This is gonna look the same for the next 8 peppers, so we'll see in just a minute. So now that we've got these hollowed out, we're gonna fill them up with our filling, and then as we do that, we'll just set them in the skillet over here. We're gonna give these guys a little bit of a par cook, just to help soften up that pepper a little bit. We still want it to have bite when it's done on top of the pizza, but we don't want it to be totally fresh either. All right, so we're not quite ready to fire these off yet. I'm gonna throw them in the fridge for now. Now, in addition to the poppers, we're gonna have some diced bacon on our pizza. We're gonna have some of our homemade ranch dressing, and those are items that we need to work on now. The bacon we're gonna do first. I wanna render that slowly, so we're gonna do it in a side skillet rather than putting it in the really hot oven. The ranch dressing will be really easy to whip up. So I've got some of Chef Britt's house smoked bacon here we're gonna use for this recipe. We'll do a couple good thick slabs and dice these up. If you guys want to see how to make this recipe yourself, you can head over to the recipe for Chef Britt's homemade bacon, and I think it was a crab dip as well. All right, so we're kind of going, you know, a large chunk, a lardon, if you will. Want these to have some texture to them. So our skillet's gonna be over kind of a medium-low heat just to start to render out that fat. We don't need it to be super crispy because it'll crisp up in the oven. Now for the ranch dressing. We've got a 1/2 cup of sour cream. We've got a 1/2 cup of mayo. We're gonna do a 1/4 cup of buttermilk. And then we get in there with our flavoring agents, starting with a 1/4 cup of fresh parsley, get a tablespoon of chives, a tablespoon of baby dill, and then we're gonna do some garlic. Now the garlic I want super fine, so I'm gonna use the microplane so it just sort of melts into the sauce. I do like 2 medium cloves or 1 large. Next, we're gonna get this with about a teaspoon of lemon juice. And we'll just finish it off with a little bit of our noble hickory smoked salt and some fresh cracked black pepper. give this a good mix. You can kind of adjust this consistency how you like. If you like a little bit thinner sauce, add more buttermilk. If you like it a little bit thicker, use less buttermilk. Good. Creamy, tangy, fresh. Great little homemade ranch dressing. That's probably more than we need for the 3 pizzas that we're gonna prepare today. But this stuff keeps great in the fridge for a week or 2. In fact, the longer it sits, I mean, as far as like a couple of days go, those flavors really get even stronger and meld together even better. So this is about what we're looking for on the bacon. A little bit of browning, but not totally crisp. We've rendered out some of that fat so it doesn't end up just floating on top of the pizza. So earlier today, we shot a little video on the Clementi Clementino, kind of a product overview video. So we've had this thing fired up for hours now. This is a great little oven. I did a little instruction on how to get a fire started in that video. So we're gonna show you some of that now just to show you how we got where we are. So we're gonna start by building a fire in the center of the deck. Just placing our wood here kind of in a log cabin formation. Gonna slide in some paper, or you can use fire starter to get the fire going. And we'll just sort of crisscross stack these up and get it lit. At this point, we can slide in our grate so we can contain the fire off to the side. So we're ready to do a little par bake on these poppers. Currently the oven's sitting at about 600 degrees, which isn't crazy hot considering how hot it can get. In fact, our pizzas will cook at a little higher temperature. But for now, we're just looking to kind of soften these up a little bit, and I don't want to totally scorch the tops before we put them on the pizza, so that's why we're staying down in that 600 range. Honestly, this part of the cook is kind of optional. I've done this both ways. It's good when you don't par cook them, it's good when you do. So it's up to you how you like the texture of the pepper. All right, guys, this is just about 2.5 minutes time. Check that out. Already nice browning on top. And just getting a little bit of that curl around the edges of these peppers. So that's what we're looking for. Before I close our oven door up again, we're gonna feed the fire so we can bump that temperature up. All right, well, it's time to put these things together. Got a little semolina here just for our work surface. This pizza dough is just kind of our go-to pizza dough recipe. You guys are welcome to go check out our video on it. We walk you through step by step how to get there. The recipe in the video yields 3 of these pizzas, so that's kind of what we've modeled this after today. So I'm just gonna put a little crust edge on here by pinching and rotating, and then we'll start to stretch this out. Just kind of gonna look through it to see our thin spots, like I can see through it right here, which tells me I don't want to stretch that area anymore. We'll kind of work around the edges to get this thing probably about 12 inches. But this is a dough that'll cook up fairly quick. In a pizza oven this hot, we're looking at just 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm gonna transfer this to our peel that's got the semolina flour on it. Make sure that'll help it move, and we'll just build it right over here. So we're gonna start on the base with some of that ranch dressing. Also gonna do a little bit of barbecue sauce. So this is kind of in keeping with the idea that we're doing a barbecue jalapeno popper, the bacon wrap style that we normally do on the grill. So we'll add just a little bit of sweetness with that blues hog. And then we're just gonna come in with the mozzarella. So this is a lower moisture mozzarella, but make sure you don't buy the pre-shredded stuff. Go ahead and buy that ball of it and shred it up yourself. It melts really nice. But it's not that full fat, really wet stuff. In a pizza like this, that might leave a little bit too much moisture behind. So now we're gonna add our poppers here. These have just a little bit of flexibility to them now that we did that little par bake. We're gonna do 6 poppers for each pie. I love this recipe because once this thing's cooked through, you've got 6 equal slices. You can just kind of wrap that dough around the popper and go to town. So next we're gonna come in with our bacon. We're doing the bacon because, like I said, we normally do these bacon wrapped on the grill. And then right on top, I've got some smoked blue cheese crumbles. So we're gonna launch our pie and land it right here in the center. I had a jalapeno slip off. No worries. It's only been 30 seconds, but as you can see, already getting browned on the sides. So we're gonna give that a spin. Yeah, just approaching a minute and a half, and this thing is almost done. We've got one side we could darken up a bit. The bottom's got color, but it's not overdone yet. I'm just gonna lift this up to finish it off. Doesn't need but a couple of seconds before we're totally browned on top. All right, so we're just gonna slice in between our jalapenos. Here's our slice. There's gonna be nice chew in that dough. And like I said earlier, just to be able to like wrap this up around that jalapeno and take a bite. I already know this is too hot. Creamy goodness. Man. Jalapeno still has a nice bite to it. I love that cream cheese and cheddar stuffed into the pepper, and then it's all surrounded by the mozzarella, that funkiness from the blue cheese. And then the ranch actually adds some nice freshness because of all those herbs. It's just a touch sweet, really not over the top. It's a really great bite. Well, it's a fun little recipe. It's got great flavors, great texture. A lot of that comes from that wood fire. Love cooking with the wood fire, and the Clementino is a great little oven. It's been a lot of fun to play around with. I'm looking forward to cooking some more recipes beyond pizza on this thing in the future. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out allthingsbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoyed the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to allthingsbbq.com/thesauce. All Things Barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.